Okay, so hopefully this sounds all right. I'm trying to use headphones, but I got a camera tripod that is currently attached to my body, so it doesn't hopefully vibrate as much, and we can see what I'm doing as I do it. This is really ridiculous. I feel like an idiot. I look like an idiot. Just for reference, this is what I look like, an idiot. But yeah, so last time we made this poorly constructed demo model, and I said it looked pretty good, and I was being an idiot. I was drunk on Avatar and potential YouTube fame and actual alcohol, and there's a number of mistakes on here upon further reflection. So number one, this was a stupid idea, pulling this tab around. And I realized this is not going to look good. It's going to look weird. And there's a reason people don't do it, because it looks weird. I'm just going to do no tab this time. If I do a tab in the future, I'll do one with fabric probably. Or maybe I'll try it in the future when I don't care as much. But I want to try to make something that looks decent this time. And also, I realized I want this. Sorry, no, I do all this stuff for the camera and now I'm messing up, right? So this thing looks awful. Not gonna do it. I guess I'm gonna cut it off and do it flat up here. And then I also want this to come out further to about where this is. And move, and this is gonna come in shallower, and also this is gonna lower down a little bit. Mainly because when I'm putting it over the last, I'm realizing that. So another thing I forgot is that also when this is ready to go, there's going to be another little pad of insole on this that's going to be part of the shoe, part of the thickness of the shoe. So, Rupert, what are you eating? Please do not eat whatever's on this table. Come sit over there. So this is the stool that I was previously having the camera mounted to. That's really wobbly. Now the cat can sit up there. So yeah, so when this is pulled tight, we don't want these things touching in the middle. There is a style of shoe where should close up, and this is not what we're going for. We want a shoe with a little bit more open space. And I'm gonna throw this on my foot to show you that it's not quite as bad when it's actually on my foot and pulled tight. Let's see if I can do this properly. Wearing these J. Crew slippers around the house. They're ugly, but they're comfy. So when I pull it tight around my foot, as it hopefully will be when it's finished, there is more space there. It's not gonna be perfect, because obviously I'm trying to work this out with the camera wrapped around my neck, and I can't see my foot very well. But yeah, so it's not terrible, but I'm going to cut these a little more shallow, bring the whole thing down. As you can see on the previous pattern that we cut, it originally, like where I put the line right here, the glue line, it was like that. So it's sitting up like that, and this is all meeting up nicely, that line and that line, and but I don't actually, I want it actually to sit down more like this. Keep that back line lined up still. Well, I'm gonna move it though. So, but anyway, it wasn't a terrible spot for it, given the cut of the pattern. And so then there's inside here, you can see it actually came down a tiny bit, and it'll connect a little bit lower, give this a little bit more room. And I'm also going to bring this out a tiny bit, make this whole part with where I'm gonna put the eyelets on, make it a little bit longer. And actually, I'm probably gonna do that at the top end. I'm gonna make it a little bit taller, because now that we're moving the shoe, the side down, the shoe is gonna be a little bit shorter. And the one thing that was nice, it was a good height for the shoe. That was great. I'm not gonna, this is a bad idea to cut this in so tightly. I thought it was gonna be tricky and make it easier during lasting and get rid of a lot of that material ahead of time. but that was a bad idea. I'm still gonna curve in, but not as sharply. And then I have to, this is too pronounced right here. It's gonna come back up. Remember in the first video when we were doing the pattern, I told you want to tighten that in a little bit because I heard that somewhere and it'll help the heel cap. But no, that didn't work out well at all. So I'm gonna fix that out a little bit. Less pronounced here. Get that moved back. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna not cut this out just yet. I'm gonna wait for a little bit. I'm gonna make this a little bit further out, a little more angled. I got these good old tools from Mr. Template to help me with some curves, make better curves. I saw someone on Reddit doing that, someone who was doing a lot more scientific job at pattern making than I was, and than I have been doing. I'm gonna forget his username right now, but he made a really nice pair of service boots, and he's the one that showed that I learned the cut down the middle from, and he drew out the pattern. He did it with like dividers and got the proper. Oh, and I also said that the cap toe should be cut like this, convex, like a concave cap toe, convex towards the whatchamacallit, the vamp, but in actuality it should be cut like this. I'm just a very slight curve. I'm exaggerating it just so you can see what I'm talking about. I believe is what's actually supposed to happen. So then when it gets pulled tight, it goes straight across. I don't know the exact curve there. I did read it at one point. I think it was like something like a 16-inch radius or something. So it's a very slight curve relative to the shoe, but yeah, it's supposed to curve that way. But yeah, I've also decided that as for a cap toe, there's no cap toe in the pattern that I've made, but I am going to do a cap toe. I'm going to do a real cap toe where I do like a full vamp, and then I put a cap toe completely over it instead of cutting off the toe and stitching the cap toe to the vamp, thus making it like kind of like a cap toe look, but no cap toe structure. Because then I would still have to go back in and structure the toe anyway a little bit to have just like a little bit of firmness. And instead, I'm just going to use the original leather. I'm just going to put the cap toe right on top. That'll give it structure. I'll go underneath the cap toe. I'll rough it up. I'll fill it with wallpaper glue to give it some firmness. And yeah, I think that should be a good look for this boot. If it comes out okay. I'm not drinking today. This is no drinking booze right now because it's the middle of the day, and I'm not at that point just yet where I need to be drinking in the middle of the day. But I will give you a tour of my bar at some point, talk about what I have been drinking. Let's get these things out here. And drop the clip. Oh yeah, I bought a whole bunch more clips for clipping stuff later too. Oh, and poster board was, after all that hype about poster board being $1, poster board was only 50 cents. So I got 3. Big ballin' with the poster board. Didn't have to save those scraps anymore. I threw them in the fireplace. So yeah, we'll see with these curves what I can do. And Avatar didn't hold up that well, for those that were wondering. It was watchable, but it wasn't great. I hadn't seen it since theaters. And also, don't bother with the McDonald's Szechuan sauce. Got that for dinner last night, and it wasn't very good. And I broke a multi-year streak of not having McDonald's for it. Just tastes like Worcestershire sauce and sweetness. Sweet and sour sauce is better. And a handful of chicken nuggets and a handful of vitamins for dinner is about the same as having a bottle of Soylent. So don't do it. All right, I'm gonna go find my other boot and I'll be right back.